Hello, I'm your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor Latricia Booker. And now I'm popping in on you to tell you that they want to humiliate you. They want to humiliate you. And so, Kingdom people, this message comes from a dream that I had um, about almost a week ago. And I spoke about this same dream a couple of days ago in my live stream, but God gave me a couple of different messages concerning this dream. And in this dream, I was at an event or something where my family was, and everyone had assigned seats. And this particular person in my family, an elder, was sitting in my seat. And this is a person who, have pretty much tried to cause me a lot of harm. Someone I had to remove myself from. And in the dream, everyone had their assigned seat. Everyone was in their seat as I was approaching to come and sit in my seat. This person was in my seat, and their seat was a little bit over away from where I was. Their things were sitting on the table, where their spot was, but they weren't in their spot. They were in my spot. They were in my seat. And so when I came up, I stood there first for a little bit to give them a chance to get up on their own. Then I asked them to get out of my seat. Can you get out of my seat? And they ignored me, and they pursued to talk to the person in front of them, which was another family member. And so they just pretty much ignored me. And so what happened, Kingdom people, is I started going off. I started yelling, "Get out my seat! Get out my!" I was going off. And Kingdom people, I just want to say, at one point in time, I wouldn't say I would have done that to this person, but at one point in time in my life, I used to go off like that. I used to go in. And so this person knows, because they have witnessed this. And when I have gone off and they witnessed it, it was for good reason. I can remember, in fact, this person commending me on me going off. At one time, they kind of said to me, "You was going off. That's not even your own child." They said that to me when I had addressed another person in my family about something they were doing to another child. And this was actually someone who their child, so to speak, that I went off about. And it's so interesting because all the children, at the time where I was living in a family building where I stayed on the second floor from where my grandmother used to live before she passed away. And all the children came to me, ran upstairs to me, and all the adults were in the same apartment in the dining room towards the back. And this person's parent was even down there, but they didn't go to them. They came, in fact, when it came and got me to come and address this person, or to come tell me what this person was doing. So it was a thing where they kind of knew I would address it. And a lot of it had to do with they didn't know. They knew that I didn't like nonsense. I wasn't with, certain things. I've always been kind of, for the most part, known, for those who kind of know me in that way, for addressing nonsense. I didn't do it a whole lot, but when I did, I did. And so anyhow, yeah. So as I said, that's something that at one point in time I probably would have actually done. But in this dream, this person sat in the seat, and what God showed me is like I said, it was a two-part message. The previous message, God was saying they want your spot. They want your spot. They were sitting in my spot. He actually pointed that out to me second. And what I'm getting ready to share, they want to humiliate you, is what he showed me first. But he just moved me to share, they want your spot first. But the thing was, they was in my spot, and that was their way of wanting my spot. What it represented, they wanted my spot. And in my previous message, I spoke about how they were doing my lingo, trying to present themselves in a way for people to see them as evolved, having grown, knowing spiritual matters, because they're realizing people see me in that way. And this is a person, they don't be on that. Even when they try to give some kind of words of wisdom, it's really watered down. It's just, not the same. But they're trying to, God was saying in that dream that they were trying to present themselves as that. Because again, they wanted my spot. They wanted your spot, kingdom people, or they want your spot. And so the other, like I said, this is a twofold message. So the other part of this message is they want to humiliate you. And so along with trying to, talk in a way that I talk, or try to present themselves so that people could see them the way that they see me, they also talk me down. And what God really showed me was they had done this already. And so what's happening is this, kingdom people, what they were saying about me is not what's being seen. And so their attempt, they're them sitting in my seat, not moving, knowing it was my seat. They wanted me to go off, and that was their attempt to humiliate me. In other words, when I go off, I'm supposed to look bad. But here's the thing, what God pointed out to me. The person that they were talking to across from them, and everyone else around that was paying attention, knew exactly what they were doing. As I said in my first message, first, they are aware that they're trying to present themselves as myself, or like me, want to be seen in that same way. In other words, they want my spot. Secondly, in this message, they wanted to humiliate me. They wanted me to look bad. So because what they were saying, had said about me, was not matching up with what I really am and how I move these days, they were trying to get that reaction from me. But it, wanted me to go off, and in their mind, so I could be humiliated. But again, people were aware of what they were doing, because why you in her spot is what people was thinking. Why are you in her seat? Get up and get in your own seat. They knew that this person was trying to provoke me, and they are very aware of why. And God gave me Haman, the story of Haman and Mordecai, which can be found in Esther chapters 5, 6, and 7, where the story about how Haman tried to set up Mordecai out of jealousy. But what God was saying is that not only did Haman was hating on Mordecai, but he also was trying to humiliate him, because he was trying to get him hung. He was trying to make him get him looked at by the king as someone who he wanted to humiliate him. He was trying to get the king to look at him in a negative way, which is, why he tried to set him up, or that is demonstrated in how he tried to set him up. And you have to read Esther chapters 5, 6, and 7, or even the whole book of Esther, because it's not it's a pretty short book. But anyhow, many of you know this story, but the point is this. Haman was trying to humiliate Mordecai. Now, also, God gave me this. I was been reading in Saul as well. I've been reading in a few different places. But something I read this morning that struck a chord, and it was talking about how Saul, when he started to become jealous of David, he kept, it said he kept the jealous eye on him. And I thought that was interesting. I said, whoa, a jealous eye on him. And so kingdom people are keeping a jealous eye on you. And usually in the it was also stating, when I read the commentary, it was stating how that's what insecure and weak people do. And I'll go a step further and say weak-spirited people do. They keep a jealous eye over you, over you too, but they keep a jealous eye on you. They watch you. And so, yeah, they want to humiliate you, because they have that jealous eye on you, because they've already slandered your name and tried to say this and that and the other. And you're not living up to anything that they said, because it's not you. They are trying to humiliate. They were already trying to humiliate you when they were doing all of that. But because you're not living up to anything that they're saying, because it's not you, even if at one point in time you would have went off, although what they're saying is not necessarily that. The way to humiliate you at this point is to get you to go off so that you can match what they've been saying, or so they can say, should I say more so this, so you can look crazy. Because again, what you've said, what they have said is not what you're looking like. They need you to go off. They need you to look mental, like you have some, like you done lost your mind, like you got a mental problem, like you psychotic, as they have said. So the way to do that is to sit in your spot and it's just a dream to provoke you into going on. But as I already stated, the people looking around knew what they were doing. So when people are talking about you and steadily going and you somewhere minding your business, doing you, even if you speak in truth and they're trying to throw salt on your name, and that's a way to just cover up their misdeeds and they not wanting to be exposed. And many a times, I know in my case, they sent the people in my direction by talking about me. So now that they're watching and paying attention, now they got to do damage control. And so, king to people, the other part of this is this. Many people, as you all know, they are involved in the dark arts. And what I mean by that is witchcraft. And I mean witchcraft at a deeper level as well. In other words, trying to do spells on you, black magic, voodoo, all that kind of stuff. Many people are involved in things like this. And so for some of you, this is the case. And so, as I said, this person is trying to, although these people, even the people in your, not so much in your life, but that you know of, that have, been doing these kind of things towards you, they're trying to provoke you, and they're trying to provoke you in that way. They use, how they do their little stuff in the background to get you to react. And how do they do that? See, at this point, king of people, for those of you that this applies to, these people know that you know what they do and what they're doing. So they're trying to get you to respond to what you know they're trying to do to you in the background. In other words, go off. In whatever way and environment that is for you. For me, to be honest, king of people, it would be here. These people want me to get on, this person in particular wants me to get on here and go off. And I won't. I will not. I may address things, speak on things as God leads me, as I am right now, but I'm not going to go off on them or go off about what they're doing. But that's what they're wanting me to do, because they want to humiliate me. They want to say, see, she crazy. See, she on there going off and going crazy, looking erratic and all. That's what they want. And so to prove their innocence or to prove that what they're saying about me is right, and also what God keep giving me is to cover up. See, these people are big on covering up, real big on covering up. And so, and I have a whole nother message about that, but I don't want to go too much into that. So yeah, again, as I already said, damage control as well. They have to do damage control now. And so, king of people, these people want to humiliate you. They want you to look bad. They want you to look like what they said about you. I was also reflecting today, it was on my spirit today, how I mentioned this in my live the other day as well, even surrounding this dream, and how those depictions in movies, particularly I was spoke about Disney movies like Cinderella, I can't think of any other. I want to say Anastasia, but different movies where people hate a good person, kind-hearted person so much because they're jealous of something they have. The Little Mermaid, and how that woman, I forget her name, but she was so jealous of what was her name? What was the Little Mermaid's name? Her voice. Just watched it not long. It's been a little bit ago, but not that long ago. With the one with Haley Bailey in it. But anyhow, how they, how they can become so jealous and so rageful and want to cause you harm, want to take you out, want to humiliate you because the witch, I call her a witch, took her voice or tricked her where she took her voice. And that was, even though it was bigger than her humiliating her, that was part of what she wanted to do. She wanted to humiliate her, make her look like a fool. But I also thought about other movies or even TV shows where you have these depictions where people are bullying, other children. I mean, you can see it in so many different things because it's very common. And I used to actually get bothered when I would see those kind of things, and still don't care for it, but it's a real thing that really happens. One thing that I thought about today, because I'm like, why do they keep showing this kind of stuff? Because unfortunately, these kind of things influence people to keep perpetuating that behavior. But what God had to bring to my attention today is because it's a real thing that happens. But what I love is the good outcome, how the outcome always ends on the favor always goes to the person who's in the right, who's the good one, and not the bully. And so again, I was thinking about these different depictions in different shows or movies where you see this being carried out. And I even thought about, I recently watched The Fatherhood with Kevin Hart. I had seen it before, but I watched it again the other day. And there's a scene where his daughter, he had lost his wife, so he was raising his daughter. And she was in school, and it's this one kid that would pick on, kids would pick on her. But there's one scene where the kid was like, hey, I forget what it was, I think. She has on some panties or something like that because she was climbing up something. And the boy just started on some dumb stuff. Some kids, stupid stuff. But I guess even in that, I know it's kids, stupid stuff, but even in that, it's just like, why are you bothering her? But I know, Kingdom people, this is what people do. This is what kids do. Unfortunately, this is what adults do as well. But he was like, she, whatever. And so everybody started coming and joining, doing it too. And so I'm saying all that to say that that's kind of how your enemies behave. They're wanting to get people, recruit people. They say things about you to recruit people to be looking at you crazy too. And maybe they're not doing this and like a kid, hey, look at you. But just to look at you in a bad way. And it's all designed to humiliate you. And so, I just want to mention this too because it's just, I didn't forget. Well, I'm remembering now. You know how in high school, it's usually in high school when, the cool boy on the football team or whatever, even could be the basketball team, but the depiction that I'm accustomed to seeing is on the football team in high school. And I guess what they call him, the jock or whatever. And he's popular and doesn't have to be a football player, but that's often the depiction. And he's real cool, but then he wants to go bully on somebody. And usually they're a nerd or they just chilling, man, in their business, ain't on all that extra stuff. And, it's like, well, why are you bothering them? But it's going back to they want to humiliate them. Now, why would you want to humiliate them and you are already the man or whatever? Well, what did I say earlier about those who are weak and those who are insecure? Just because a person presents themselves or carrying themselves on, they're popular, they're well-known for doing this and doing that, don't mean they're securing themselves. It doesn't mean that they're securing themselves. They still can be weak, weak in the spirit, And so that's why they do these things. And so it's the same thing here, kingdom people. They want to humiliate you. And yes, it comes from a place of being weak spirited, and it comes from a place of being insecure, and them seeing that you have something that they lack. Like you heard what I said earlier. I said a lot of times they pick on nerds or just people that's doing their man in their business. But it's something in you that in them that they see. In you too, in them that they see that makes them want to pick on you. Why do people pick on nerds? Because they smart. They smart. Smart, as Big Brother Trend say. They smart. And usually these people are not, or are not as smart as them. And so kingdom people, they want to humiliate you. They want to humiliate you because you got it going on. They want to humiliate you because they see something in you that they lack. They want to humiliate you because they're jealous. They want to humiliate you, as I've already said, because they done already tried to humiliate you and it didn't work. So now they got to try to humiliate you. They got to get you to react to what they did to try to humiliate you, and what they trying to do now to humiliate you. Kingdom people, they want to humiliate you. And that is all I have to say about that. So if you like this video and if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you. Make sure that you ring my bell. Ring my bell. Can the people ring my bell? And subscribe to subscribe to my channel. Ring my bell so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. Also, kingdom people, if there's any information that you need to know about me, you can find all that right down below in the description box, along with other helpful resources. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for all your likes, comments, subscribe, shares, all of your feedback, all of your financial contributions to my channel, for all of the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry, for all of your bookings, all of your purchases. Kingdom people, thank you so much for everything you do here. Thank you. And so, kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Now, kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable, we are unmovable, we are unbreakable, and we are unstoppable. Kingdom people, go and be great. That is our time. This Jesus girl is out. Peace.